It's right here. Oh, thank you. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
In keeping with the sanctity of this space and this holiday, please turn off all cell phones and all electronic devices. If you have circumstances that require you to remain in contact with others, please turn your phone to vibrate and fully exit the sanctuary before you begin speaking. Thank you in advance. Should there be a situation requiring evacuation, there are 3 emergency exits. There's the door through which you entered. There is the emergency exit to your left of the bima, and you can exit to the right of the bima, turn left in the hallway, and the exit will be ahead on the right. Please follow the instructions of the security team as well and the ushers. There is a defibrillator as well as a stop the bleed kit in the lobby near the hallway entrance. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. And Shabbat Shalom to everyone here and everyone out there who might be watching our service tonight. Welcome, and we are very happy to see you and to celebrate Shabbat with you tonight. I'd like to start off, get us into the spirit of worship and music and Shabbat, and start off with a slow song, kind of a pretty song, one of my favorites actually, music by Debbie Friedman from a passage, and the song is called Shema Kolenu, and it means hear our voices. Shema Kolenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Who's Berachim Aleinu. Shema Kolenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Who's Berachim Aleinu. V'kabel v'rachamim u'v'ratzon et tefilatenu, ki el shomea tefilot v'tachanunim ata. Shema Kolenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Who's Berachim Aleinu. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Shema Kolenu, Adonai Eloheinu. All right, let's pick things up a little bit. The song called Lo Alecha. Jeff Klepper wrote this song. It means, more or less, you are not obliged to finish your tasks, but you should not ignore your tasks either. And hope you'll sing along with this. And if you have shakers, you can shake along. second section. Lo alecha hamlacha ligmor. Lo alecha ligmor. Lo alecha hamlacha ligmor. Lo alecha ligmor. Velo ata ben kori lehibatel mimena. Velo ata ben kori. Velo ata ben kori lehibatel mimena. Velo ata ben kori. Lo alecha hamlacha ligmor. Lo alecha ligmor. Lo alecha hamlacha ligmor. Lo alecha ligmor. Like a little fire. Below ata ben korim lehibate imena. Below ata ben korim. Below ata ben korim lehibate imena. Below ata ben korim. Lo alecha hamlacha ligmor. Lo alecha ligmor. Lo alecha hamlacha ligmor. Lo alecha ligmor. Great, thank you so much. One more. Let's do this on L'chulu Neranana. I was trying to find the prayer in the Siddur. It's near the beginning, right? It's yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this is the traditional version of it, and I was trying to find it there. And it's this prayer of praise, and what is it actually? Used to do this song, but I can't remember the meaning of the prayer so much. Prayer of rejoicing. L'chulu Neranana, and you've got the words in your leaflet. Oh, it's in. I'm just, but I just was looking for the translation, just to be able to know a little more. Anyway, yes, it's in your leaflets. Go like this. L'chulu Neranana, L'chulu Neranana, L'chulu Neranana, l'Adonai. L'chulu Neranana, L'chulu Neranana, L'chulu Neranana, l'Adonai. Naria, Naria, Sur Yishenu, Yekadma, Fana Pikota. Naria, Naria, Sur Yishenu, Bidmirot Naria La. L'chulu Neranana, L'chulu Neranana, L'chulu Neranana, l'Adonai. L'chulu Neranana, L'chulu Neranana, L'chulu Neranana, l'Adonai. Naria, Naria, Zur Yishenu, Ekadma Panapikoda. Naria, Naria, Zur Yishenu, Bizmirot Naria La. L'chulu Neranana, L'chulu Neranana, l'Adonai. L'chulu Neranana, L'chulu Neranana, L'chulu Neranana, l'Adonai. Thanks. Great.
Thank you. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Nice to see so many of you out in this frigid weather. So you came in from the cold, and we're glad to have you. And it's great to be with everybody together. So we're going to begin our service by, I'd like to invite Jeremy Casanov to come on up and open the doors of the Ark and the Ark curtain. I like the look of terror on your face. Please rise in body or spirit. You're the youngest one here, so that's why. Please be seated. Now going to continue our service with the lighting of the Shabbat candles, bringing in the light of Shabbat. Shelley, why don't you come on up and light the candles for us this evening in honor of your sponsoring the Oneg Shabbat, page 120.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen, 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 amen.
Thank you. And now that we have lit the lights of Shabbat, we're going to continue by welcoming the Shabbat bride with the singing of L'chadodi, which you may find on page 138 and 139. Get your shakers ready.
L'chadodi, l'kad kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabla. L'chadodi, l'kad kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabla. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Ishtianu el am yuchad. Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, shemu tiferet v'lihila. L'chadodi, l'kad kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabla. L'chadodi, l'kad kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabla. Verse 5. Hitoreri, hitoreri, kiva oret, kumi, ori, 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 shedaberi, kol Adonai alai nigla. L'chadodi, l'kad kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabla. L'chadodi, l'kad kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabla. Last verse. Oh, Shalom, Aderet Ba'ala, Gam B'Simcha, Sa'ola, Doch Emunei, Am Shigula, Boi Kala, L'chadodi, kala B'nei Shabbat Mikabela Lecha Dodi Lecha kala B'nei Shabbat Mikabela B'nei Shabbat Mikabela.
And that concludes our Kabbalat Shabbat, welcoming Shabbat. And now we're going to continue with the next section of our service, the Shema Uvirchoteha, the Shema and its blessings, which you may find on page 146. With the Baruch Hu, please rise in body or spirit. Praise Adonai, to whom praise is due forever. Praise be Adonai, to whom praise is due, now and forever.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamavorach. Baruch Adonai Hamavorach Leolam Va'ed.
Page 148. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim bechokma poteach she'arim uvit vuna mishane itim umachalif et hazmanim umsader et hakochavim b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono borei yom v'layla Golil or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uvein laila, Adonai tzvaot shemo. El chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on the evening. Page 150.
Ahavat olam B'Yisrael Amcha ahavta Amcha ahavta Torah u'mitzvot Chukim u'mishpatim Otanu lemadita Otanu lemadita Al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shakvenu u'kumenu nasiach bechukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha u'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed ki hem chayinu v'yorech yameinu Uvahem nege yomam v'layla nege yomam v'layla V'yahavadcha al tasir mimenu le'olamim Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael ohev amo Yisrael.
Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Pages 152 and 153. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. You may be seated. Please join me on page 154. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam B'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'lechtecha v'derech u'v'shachpecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot ben enecha u'chtavtam al mizuzot beitecha u'visharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Together, you shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand, and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God, Adonai Elohechem Emeth. Now we're going to turn to page 158 and continue with Mi Chamocha, the song the Israelites sang when they crossed the Red Sea to freedom's grip.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש. נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מלכותך לאובניך, פוגע ים לפני משה ומרים, ואלי ענו ויאמרו, ואלי ענו ויאמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
Thus it is said, Adonai redeemed Jacob from a hand stronger than his own. Praised are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. Now we're going to continue on page 160 with the Hashkivenu, singing of the Hashkivenu prayer. And this is a prayer where we ask God to create a shelter of peace around us. And every week I try to think of a group that particularly needs God's prayers for shelter around them. And so in honor of this week's Torah portion, we tell the story of Jacob and having the dream about the angel wrestling with the angel. So the theme of this week's service is kind of wrestling. I'll be talking about that later. So I just wanted to ask for God's protection around all of us who are struggling.
Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'Shalom V'hamidenu Shomreinu L'Chaim. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'Shalom V'hamidenu Shomreinu L'Chaim. Ushmor Zeteinu Uvoenu L'chaim u'l'shalom me'ata v'ad olam. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'Shalom V'hamidenu Shomreinu L'Chaim. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'Shalom V'hamidenu Shomreinu L'Chaim.
Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. We'll continue on page 162 with the singing of a Shamru.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael Shabbat v'azor et Shabbat lidorotam b'ri'olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael Shabbat v'azor et Shabbat lidorotam b'ri'olam. V'ni uvein b'nei Yisrael, Odi le'olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael Shabbat v'azor et Shabbat lidorotam b'ri'olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et ha'aretz. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael Shabbat v'azor et Shabbat lidorotam b'ri'olam. Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael Shabbat v'azor et Shabbat lidorotam b'ri'olam.
We continue now with a tefillah on page 164. Please rise in body or spirit.
Anananananana Adonai, Ananananana Sfatai Tiktok, Ananananana Ufiyagi Tehilateha, Ananananana Adonai, Ananananana Sfatai Tiktok, Ananananana Ufiyagi Tehilateha, Ananananana Adonai, Ananananana Sfatai Tiktok, Ananananana Ufiyagi Tehilateha, Ananananana Adonai, Ananananana Sfatai Tiktok, Ananananana Ufiyagi yagi tehilateha. Anananananana Adonai. Ananananana Satai Titan. Ananananana Ubi Yagi. Ubi Yagi tehilateha. Page 166. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanorah El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim v'konei hakol v'zocher chasdei avot v'imahot umevig ula livnei v'nehem למען שמו באהבה מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. Page 168. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מחלקי חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, צומח נהופנים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה הכל. Page 170. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated. We continue now with the singing of Shalom Rav on page 178, a song for peace.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
together. Grant abundant peace to Israel, your people forever, for you are the sovereign God of all peace. May it be pleasing to you to bless your people Israel in every season and moment with your peace. Blessed are you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamvarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. Continue on page 371 with the Misha Berach Get Well prayer. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill. This evening we think in particular of Agnes Bales, Shlomo Shakur Rabinovich, Brittany Reed. And at this time, if there are names of others you'd like us to keep in our hearts and our minds, we prepare to recite the Misha Berach prayer. You may say their names aloud or in your hearts as I look across the room.
Daryl Lipman, Sharon Lipman.
Andy Frey, Galia Kalfali.
Roma Clement.
Randy Oldenburg and Edmund Boudreau.
May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for all of their health to be restored and all of their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send all of them a complete renewal of body and spirit. And let us say, Amen.
Mishe Berach Avotinu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishe Berach Imotinu Mekor HaBracha La'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shleima, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
And now on Shabbat, we're commanded not just to think about those who are in need of healing, but also to celebrate our good fortune and all the ways in which we're blessed and that God gave us health and life and everything that we need to be grateful for. So I'd like to open the floor for anybody who would like to share something that they're particularly grateful for this week. Mindy.
See, Hanukkah is more of a public thing than it used to be, because just this week, 3 things caught my eye. One, the local gym here in Burlington, Lifetime, walk in the door, get past the front desk, big, huge display of Hanukkah. Cradle decorations, a big menorah. First thing, even before you see all the Christmas stuff, you see the Hanukkah stuff. Second thing was one of my favorite shows, Dancing with the Stars, had a holiday special, and yes, Christmas, and then they had a really nice Hanukkah dance, a Hanukkah-themed dance to the song Miracles by Matisse Yahu. So that was really nice. And then last but not least, just having lunch at one of the local restaurants here, 110 Grill, holiday music, Christmas. And all of a sudden, Sevi Bon So in Hebrew. I was so happy.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really
That's shocking.
Usually it's, I have a little dreidel, but no, this was awesome. And the fact that it was all in Hebrew.
Wow.
Really nice.
Huh.
So it's out there.
I'm going to be lazy and not repeat everything you just said. Robin.
Well, it's the same thing as Mindy, when we were in Maryland last week for Thanksgiving. wonderful, and I was very grateful for that. We went on a tour of lights, and it was called Winter Lights, and it was Christmas, but there was a huge menorah lit up, and that was really nice to see. We didn't tune into the music because that part wasn't working, but it was great. And then I went with a friend yesterday to a restaurant in Marketplace in Peabody, and right when you walk in, on their desk where they sign you in was a big menorah, so, and a Christmas tree. But so yes.
Great. Who else has something? Shelley.
So I have two things. One is that this year has been really hard on my niece with my sister and brother-in-law who died about a year ago. And she also had some real problems at work, and she eventually resigned from her vice president position because she couldn't deal with her manager. And she just told me today that she's got an in-person job interview for another bank coming up next week. So I'm very excited for her. That's number one. And number two, in 3 months, I'm going to be a grandma.
Well, what could be better than that? You win so far. Who else?
The last time I was in services, I think it was 2 weeks ago, I mentioned the name of a neighbor of mine during the Mishnah Berurah. The reason why I mentioned him is he had just had his hip replaced. Much to my amazement, I saw him driving down the street plowing snow already 2 days ago. It's a couple that my wife and I are friends with. So I texted his wife. I said, are my eyes deceiving me, or is he out and about? He said the doctor was giving him the okay to drive and to plow if necessary. So I said, just keep an eye on him. And she said, I absolutely am. I laughed.
Well, that's great that he recovered so quickly. That's excellent.
Just say my cutie pies, my two cutie pies.
Right.
You know the story.
Fran's two cutie pies.
Oh, actually, can I tell one story that just came up in my Facebook memories? I told it to you from a couple of years ago. I think Dahlia was about 3 and a half, and we were driving in the car. You know, she's in the back seat, and my responsibility as a good grandma was to teach her about music, you know. And so the song comes on, it's by Spotify, it's Bruce Springsteen. And I go, this is Bruce Springsteen, one of grandma's favorite. It's called Dancing in the Dark. And she thinks about it for a second and says, maybe they have flashlights.
Very cute. Michael.
Yes, well, along with the grandchildren theme, my granddaughter, Maya, 3 years old, is making her theatrical
Debut.
Thank you. At a certain age, you forget words. Her theatrical debut in a play in Andover where there's I think it's a regular play for the season, but there are going to be 3 preschool kids that are integrated into the play, and Maya will be dancing publicly for the first time among many cameras. Very, very enthusiastic audience of all parents.
That's awesome. What took her so long?
So I'm looking forward to that.
Excellent. That's great. I sense that you want to say something.
A little bit. Well, Thanksgiving weekend gave us an opportunity to see some people we hadn't seen before, who meant a lot to us. Not only her dad, which was before Shabbat, last week's Shabbat service, so it doesn't count. But
We'll sneak it in there.
but on Saturday we went down to Providence to visit relatives of mine related to my first cousins, whom I grew up with, but haven't seen that often in recent years. But it was very, very nice to see them. And then that same afternoon, also in Rhode Island, visited an old high school friend and her husband, whom we see maybe once a year, and we're going to start to see them more often. They were really, and then they came to see me play somewhere last night too, so we saw them twice in 1 week, and it's very nice, very gratifying.
Excellent. Well, I'm going to share something on behalf of Phyllis, who would be sharing this if she were here. Phyllis Burlow, her granddaughter just got in early admittance to BC which was her very first choice. So she's thrilled with that. And I'm grateful that Thanksgiving is over and everybody's back where they're supposed to be. And also, I'm grateful for last Friday that it was so great to name another Maya, whose father I had bar mitzvahed, and we have a great picture now of me standing with 4 big guys, all of whom I bar mitzvahed, and one of whom I named as a baby, and 3 of their babies. So that was a really, really special weekend. All right. So for all of those gifts and more, we sing the Shehechianu, thanking God for enabling us to reach this moment.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh.
We pause for a moment of silent prayer. Now we're going to continue on page 180 at the bottom with the singing of another song for peace, O say Shalom.
O say Shalom, Imromav, Uya, say Shalom, Aleinu, V'yakol Yisrael, V'imru, Amen. O say Shalom, Imromav, Uya, say Shalom, Aleinu, V'yakol Yisrael, V'imru, Amen. O say Shalom, Imromav, Uya, say Shalom, Aleinu, V'yakol Yisrael, V'imru, Amen. O say Shalom, Be'elomav, Uya, say Shalom, Aleinu, V'yakol Yisrael, V'imru, Amen.
Well, Shabbat Shalom again, everybody. So this week's Torah portion is called Vayishlach. As I mentioned before, it's the story about how Jacob has been estranged from his brother Esau after stealing his birthright and fearful of what Esau would do to him. And so they've been now separated for 20 years. And now it's at the point where Jacob is preparing to reunite with his brother, and he's very, very afraid of what's going to happen if what Esau is going to do to him, or what's anything that's going to happen. And so Jacob sends everybody away ahead of him, and he spends the night alone on the mountain. And during the night, he wrestles with an angel. And at the and in the morning, he's limping, and so the angel changes his name to Yisrael, which means he will strive, he will struggle. And so that's a very prompt name for Yisrael, for the people of Israel. But anyway, so he's standing. Jacob is alone on the banks of the Yabok River, and he says, the text says, "Vayivater Yaakov levado." Jacob was left by himself. And then, as it says at that moment, the aloneness that a mysterious figure appears, and Jacob wrestles until dawn, and then he receives that new name, Yisrael, one who struggles with God and with people and prevails. And there's something very, very painfully familiar with this whole concept for us about being left alone. Many American Jews today feel that aloneness. We're facing rising anti-Semitism, political polarization that fractures our relationships, and a sense of profound moral and emotional fatigue as we navigate complex global and national events. And some of us feel pulled between loyalties, and some of us feel judged no matter what we say or do. And some of us feel afraid to speak up. And others of us feel heartbroken that our voices are not heard. And many of us just feel spiritually tired from all of this struggle, exhausted from explaining, defending, and worrying. And like Jacob, we find ourselves wrestling with identity, with community, with values, with fear, and with hope. And our struggle is not a sign that we've failed. It's the very definition of what it means to be a Jew. Again, that name Yisrael is granted in the middle of a struggle and not after it's resolved. And so tonight we think about everything we are wrestling with in our lives and how we are being transformed by it. So a list of things that I thought of that we're struggling with is, first of all, struggling or wrestling, literally wrestling with our connection with the state of Israel. After everything that's happened for the past 3 years, and whatever is going to happen now, it seems like we're struggling, and we're kind of like at a new dawn, like maybe at the new dawn of a new day, and we're all weary, we're all tired, we're all broken from the struggle. But we think about, what does it mean for us at this moment? Like where are we at this moment, and what do we do with the struggle? What do we do with the struggle within us, with Israel? And when we wrestle, at the same time, we're wrestling with our connection with a non-Jewish community with whom we've had such a complicated relationship. And now that the active fighting seems to have hopefully ended in Gaza, and we're at the cusp of a hopefully more positive future and rebuilding, what does it mean for us to wrestle with our feelings with the non-Jewish community who were so negative towards us before? Where are we? Where are we with our relationship with them? And do we feel ready to kind of reconnect with them, reunite with them? Or are we still feeling like a little bruised and battered and feel like we need to keep our distance a little bit because we're not yet quite healed from the struggle? Another thing, I'm wrestling with our goals for ourselves. This time of year, we choose, it's so dark out, it's so cold out, and we have the impulse to just hibernate in our own little space. But do we also need to maintain our connection with others, to come out and be part of our community, to go out and fulfill other aspects of our lives? And of course, this year we're struggling with all the horrific things that we hear happening in our country every single day, and all of the awful, awful, awful things that we hear about on a daily basis. And how should we struggle with how we personally should respond to all of this awfulness. I just heard a story the past couple of days from a temple member whose cousin's mother-in-law was detained by ICE and was in the ICE office for 6 days without the ability to change her clothes, no shower, wearing the same clothes all 6 days, no shower, only ate ramen noodles, slept on a cold concrete floor. They had the air conditioning on the whole time. A toilet in the middle of the room that was the guards could walk by and see, and it's just awful. And now she's been transported, we think, to Vermont, and now she hasn't been in touch with them for 3 days, and they don't know what's going to happen with her next. So that's just like an awful story. So we wrestle with how to respond and how to be able to help awful situations like that. And then I also wrestle with time. At my age or at some of our ages, we think, we don't have like hundreds of years to live. How can we best spend the precious time that we have? And I was just having a meal at Carlton Willard Village. I have a dinner with a rabbi once a month, and so somebody said, well, what do you want to do with the rest of your life? So I said, well, I like to travel. So she was like, well, you should go do that now, because how much time do you think you have left to be able to go? I was like, oh my God. but it really made me think, like we struggle with every day is precious, and we can't just squander it and do nothing with it. And so we should really think about what is it that we want to do with every day that we have. So we also actually, if there's anybody here who wants to share something that they're wrestling with or struggling with, it's kind of a personal topic. But if you want to share something, I'm happy to entertain others. And if not, I'll just keep going. Okay, so and anyway, at the end of the story, as I said before, Jacob limps into the dawn, and he's wounded, but he also feels blessed that he overcame the struggle with the angel, and he's not the same person as he was before he had the struggle, and so the Torah teaches that transformation doesn't require that you complete the task. As we say, lo alecha hamlacha ligmor, it's not up to us to complete the task, but it also requires that we show up and that we wrestle honestly and that we refuse to give up and that we always have hope for the future. So just like Jacob's story had a happy ending, no matter how problematic and difficult and painful it was. So I feel like if we really struggle with these profound issues in our world and in ourselves, that it'll really help us be stronger people and may be more resistant to what struggles may face us in the future. That's it. Shabbat Shalom. Okay, and now we're going to continue with the Elenu on page 586. Fran, why don't you come on up and open the ark curtain? Your choice. Door opener's choice. Please rise in body or spirit.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Please be seated.
Please join me at the top of page 588. Shehu notesh shamayim v'yoser haaretz u'moshav yikaro b'shamayim mima'al u'shchinatu zo v'gav he meromim hu Eloheinu ein od emet malkeinu efes zulato kakahatu b'torahato v'yadata hayom Viadata hayom v'hashevota elevahavecha ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim b'shamayim mima'al v'a'aretz mitachat ein od. Page 591. Please join me in singing the Ayom Hahu and V'ne'emar. You may shake along. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz. Ayom Hahu yihye Adonai echad u'shemo echad. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz. Hayom hahu yihye Adonai echad u'shemo echad. Hayom hahu yihye Adonai echad u'shemo echad. Hayom hahu yihye Adonai echad u'shemo echad. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz. Hayom hahu yihye Adonai echad u'shemo echad. Echad u'shemo echad. Echad u'shemo echad.
The introduction to the Kaddish may be found on page 599. We think now of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. We recall Adriana da Silva, who died during this past month. We add to her name the names of those whose yahrzeits or anniversary of whose deaths occur this week: Samuel Cohen, Joyce Brisbois, Alec Weiner, B.J. Lifton, Daniel David Gruber, George Pizer, Lillian Shane, Eleanor Gordon, Fran and Mark Axelrod. And at this time, if there are names of others you would like to add names to the Kaddish prayer, you may say their names aloud or in your hearts as I look across the room.
Edna Piantakis.
Zichronam livracha. May all of their memories be for a blessing. We turn to page 598 and rise in body or spirit to recite the Kaddish prayer. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shmei rabbah b'yalma divrach yirateh v'yamlich malchuteh b'chayechon v'yamechon v'chayeh d'chol beit Yisrael ba'agala v'yizman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam almei almaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei dekudasha barichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata ta'amiran b'yalma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shmaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Ose shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony and high bring peace to us, to our country, to Israel, to all Israel and all the world, as we say together, Amen. Please be seated. Oh, I guess I'm going to call Shelley up for the announcements.
Shabbat Shalom again, everyone. Tomorrow we have our special Shabbat Yiladim led by our own Ben Silver and Rhonda Rubin, right? Yeah, okay. Next Friday, Dalit class will have their class Shabbat, and they'll also be celebrating Hanukkah. That at that point, the service starts at 6:30, so a half an hour earlier next Friday. On Sunday, we of course have religious school, but then we also have a Hanukkah party from 10 to 11:30 a.m. We have Shabbat on the 19th at 7 p.m. And on the 23rd, we have the Ping Pong Club. Contact Michael Finkel and for more details about that. And just as an aside, I am on the security committee. You might know that we have our own paid security detail at each service and as well as at religious school. And we've got a few people here on the security committee that provide additional security protection and secure situation awareness, and we need more helpers. Please see the temple email for more details or contact me. Thank you. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you. So yeah, next week is our family. It's the Dalit class is leading it, but it's our Hanukkah family worship service for the whole community. And so Hanukkah starts a week from Sunday, believe it or not. And so we're going to have, as usual, 8 nights of lights, and we have our big temple.
7 nights of lights and 1 day of light.
Okay. So we have our menorah out there out front and our big dreidel, which is great. And so every night we're going to be lighting the menorah, except for the first day, the Sunday, the 14th. We're going to do it at 11:30 in the morning because we're going to do it at the end of religious school, and Ben's going to be here for many of those nights. We're also lighting a Hanukkah menorah at Leahy Clinic a week from Wednesday, and we're having a little band Hanukkah program at Carlton Willard Village on a week from Thursday, so at 7:15. So lots of opportunities to light the menorah and celebrate Hanukkah with us, and we're gonna have lots of opportunities for tzedakah because at the Hanukkah party, we're asking everybody to bring an unwrapped new toy for an older child in the Burlington community who are in need of gifts. And we also have just decided, so on the 17th, we're going to have somebody speak here from the Burlington Food Pantry, and we're asking everybody to bring infant formula or baby food because the Burlington Food Pantry happens to be in desperate need of that right now. So please consider doing that, and also a cereal for a family table. So lots of opportunities for giving, and we're going to have our fab potluck dinner on that Saturday of Hanukkah, a week from Saturday.
So I had a question. I read in the announcements and what you just said about some toys or gifts for older children. Any idea what that would be? Okay. You know, how are they defining an older child, and what are the sorts of things that would buy? Because I just don't know.
I bought a 500-piece jigsaw puzzle today.
Oh, like a jigsaw puzzle, or
I don't know either.
I don't think I think it could probably be a wide variety of things. So but that's good. I'll try to get more clarification.
Examples, because I'd love to help, but I just don't know what an older child's toy is.
Yeah, I'll send it back through the chain of people to find out how to define that. Okay. And all right. So with that, we're going to continue with the Kiddush on page 231. I'm inverting my 123, 231, 321. It has a 1, a 2, and a 3 in it. 122. We'll try that one. Shelley, you want to come up and lead us in the Kiddush? Please rise in body or spirit. And thanks to Tom for being here to help with security. Appreciate it.
The heaven and the earth were finished in all their array. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing, and God ceased on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodesho v'ahava uvratzon inhilanu, zikaron l'maaseh bereishit. Ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh, zecher litziat Mitzrayim. Ki banu bacharta, yotanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, yava uvratzon, inchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen.
Anybody want to come up and hold the challah?
Sure.
All right.
Thanks.
That's a good week.
All right.
Mindy will be our stand-in child for the
Yes,
evening.
okay.
Ready? Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Thank you. Would you like to close the doors of the ark? Please be seated.
Well, there's been a lot of talk this service about the situation with us as Jews and the alienation and separation we are feeling because of our particular views and associations versus other people's and things. But at the same time, some heartening news that people were talking about earlier of the things seeming to thaw a bit, and more recognition of our Hanukkah festivities and things like that. And by the way, with the mention of things in the media, and with music coming through the media, we're also, some of you may watch these crime shows, and the one Boston Blue. I don't know if you've been watching it, but they have this whole thing. That's a new show now, kind of a spinoff from NYPD Blue, and they're featuring a blended family of Jews and blacks, and they even have shown, as part of their narrative, they've shown some Shabbat worship around the dinner table and everything like that. It's kind of nice to see that. So speaking of that, to motivate us to take pride in our being Jews, we have a song called "Wherever You Go" on the back of our leaflets, which some of you may know. We used to do this, and the kids used to like to sing this a lot as well. Wherever you go, there's always someone Jewish, so you will not feel so alone. Wherever you go, there's always someone Jewish. You're never alone when you say you're a Jew. So when you're not home and you're somewhere kind of newish. The odds are, don't look far, because they're Jewish too. Some Jews in tents, and some live in pagodas, and some Jews pay rent, cause the city's not free. Some Jews live on farms in the hills of Minnesota, and some Jews wear no shoes and sleep by the sea. Amsterdam, Disneyland, Tel Aviv, oh, they're miles apart. When we light the candles on Sabbath Eve, we share in the joy of one of our hearts. And some Jews wear hats, and some Jews wear sombreros, and some wear tefillahs to keep out the sun. Some Jews live on rice, and some live on potatoes, or waffles, falafel, or hamburger buns. Amsterdam, Disneyland, Tel Aviv, oh, they're miles apart. When we light the candles on Sabbath Eve, we share in the prayer in each one of our hearts. Wherever you go, there's always someone Jewish. You're never alone when you say you're a Jew. So when you're not home and you're somewhere kind of newish, the odds are, don't look far, because they're Jewish too. The odds are, don't look far, they're Jews just like you.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.